Hi, Zeos Pantera of In-Ear Fetish. And that's the wallpaper from the last review I did, and I didn't realize what our next one was going to be. I just pulled it off the shelf. I'm like, let's be topical. Let's do the Starfield 2. The Moondrop presents, like a fucking movie from the 50s. So that's already in the wallpaper hoard. I'm going to swap it over. I found another one that happens to have some stars in it. I think we're all going to enjoy that one. Move that into... Actually, wait. I got to move that to here. I want to do this right. And we're going to go back to that. And this. And that. And then move that to used. And now everyone in the wallpaper hoard now has it. Bam! See? Stars. That's why that's in there. Stars. So this is the Moondrop Presents Starfield 2. And I want to thank all my patrons for supporting me. Because, let me tell you... Of all this shit, all of this shit, moving, fucking all the things I've done over the years, I have lost very few pieces of audio equipment. The Moondrop Starfield 1 is one of those pieces of equipment. I don't have it in any of my boxes, in any of my bags, nowhere. It's nowhere. I lost a set of IEMs. And you know what? I was damn tempted to just rebuy it, even though I'd done the review and I really didn't listen to them that often. But the Starfield ones were such a huge leap. They were the most important IEM of the day. They were it. They were the thing you wanted. And when I lost them and I had nothing to, couldn't compare it to them. It was just like, I just really want them to compare. And you know how much the original ones are still right now? $109.99. 110 bucks. You get the Starfield ones. Moondrop Presents Carbon Nanotube Diaphragm Starfield. And you know how much the Moondrop 2s are? Or the Starfield 2s are? $109.99. The only difference is on Apos, who sent this, by the way, the original ones have 27 5-star reviews, and these have 0. So let's get them some 5-star reviews. Now, I've looked into the description and everything else I got going on here. Apparently, it's no longer carbon nanotube. Now it's a lithium magnesium alloy dome composite diaphragm. And there's also some other little tips and tricks. Things that, hold on. I'm enjoying them still. Oh yeah, that's the thing. So I'm gonna take them out of my ears. We're gonna look at them real quick. They're very pretty. They're blue or purple depending on the angle of the camera or your eyeballs. They make this weird sound when you hit them together because they're not like a solid metal. They're a machined alloy. We got to talk about the wire for a split second. It is definitely new conglomerate. It's this whole IEM screams IEM from the new conglomerate. It's got a serial numbered Moondrop labeled like gold brass. More gold than the actual gold on the thing, which I provided this. I didn't think that they provided a quarter-inch adapter. And then it goes into blue, but not just blue, like slightly sparkly blue. Like it's just blue 4-wire up to more gold, slightly different color actually. I don't understand why it's slightly different. It might just be my eyes, but this seems a little bit lighter in color. And then you have the split, which is the same thing and then it goes up to the brass. It's just brass and gold brass, and then purple blue, and then like metal flake, and then there's these little. It says these are tunable, but I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do with this. Let's get to the point. These sound exactly how I want them to sound. From memory, because that's all I have to go on, is the memory of the Starfields. And I'm remembering, like, oh my, I remember confusing them for a electrostat or planar or balanced armature. I thought they had a BA. These are strictly single dynamic. And the original ones were strictly single dynamic. And for fucking some reason, Starfield, obviously it has a BA or something to get that treble as, I want to say sweet as it is. And these have that same exact feeling. What I would almost say with these, at their price point at 109, these are probably the most sound stagey IEM for that price point. All right? Because I put them on, and I'm listening to them, and I swapped through a couple tips, and they come, by the way, they come with the most measly amount of tips I've ever seen. Just 6, which means 3 pairs of just this type. So I have the X-Elastics, the Sednafit X-Elastics on here. What bothered me was when I was doing the unboxing, which was not that long ago, is because it had these bags filled with mouse droppings. Huh? Why is there 10 mouse droppings in bags? Why would you do that to me? Moondrop, did I do something to offend you? I apologize. Turns out, and I did this during the unboxing, which you'll see in probably 3 months when that gets through the cycle, there is a little hole that's perfectly fitting those mouse droppings. And so I'm like, okay, I put one of them in. Let me explain the process. I have pretty big hands. These are 1 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters wide, and maybe 4 or 5 millimeters long. And there's a hole in them. And I had no idea what they were for. So I pulled out the manual, because every IEM has a manual now. And that's Chinese and that's English. And I read the entire manual, all 4 pages of it that are written. Not once did they mention the mouse droppings. Only, and then I figured out what they did. They went into those holes. But I got to point out that at this size and where they fit onto the unit, they're also directional. So imagine these hands working very delicately to get a mouse dropping into there, but not like this or like this, specifically like this, so that it matches the curve and it seats inside the little holes. And I'm like, what the fuck? So luckily APOS does their homework, because down here, there you go. Effective pressure vent structure with bass booster plug. Boom! That's a bass booster plug. So I put them in during the unboxing. So I had them in for my listening session here, and I only pulled them out 10 minutes before I started this review. Because I'm like, all right, bass booster plugs in, take it out. Leave them in. In fact, they should come in. In fact, they shouldn't even be options. The problem I have with them is there's a reason they give you 10 when you only need 2. You're going to lose them. Because they only seat as well as you can seat a tiny, like the tiniest little fucking plug. Smash into the camera, you're not going to be able to see it. And it's on an angle. It's got like a fucking 40-degree angle that you gotta put it in with that one, not go the other way. With the bass boost plug in, these things are amazing. With the bass boost plug out, these things are a little too shrill and don't have enough bass. So that bass booster plug is doing a twofold action. It is balancing the sound a little bit, and whether it's actually affecting the treble or if it's just the way my brain is perceiving it because there's more low end and mid-range. Actually, I don't think it's affecting the mid-range at all. I think it's just low end. Because I had something come on, and I was going to focus this review on the bass until I pulled that plug out. And I'm like, oh, there's other parts of this IEM. The bass isn't a lot. It isn't like Rinko fucking shake the house down bass. It's enough bass that you kind of take note of it. And it's far away. That's another weird thing. Is the bass isn't like just bass. It sounds like it's bass, but like over there. Like if my chest freezer over there was a subwoofer and there was a matching one over there and they were just like emanating. The bass emanates with the soundstage. The treble, I will admit, can get a little bit harsh only on some amplifiers. That's the second caveat for this IEM. Number one, first, you got to put the bass plugs in or else I don't think they're as good as they could be. Secondly, I have currently 5 amplifiers I can actually use this with. I can't test it with the LA90, but Hi-Fi Min EF600. I've got the Rebel amp, the Ukrainian Rebel amp Class A. I've got this X-Duo MP01 tube pre plus headphone amp. I've got the Gishelli Labs Arcal 3 Pro, and I've got the Wall Oven Topaz. And every single one of them sounds different. Most treble on the Gishelli. This has to probably do with voltage, because I know this will run the tungstens better than other things, which is those are the headphones. And then I went from this for a while. I was on this for like 10, 12 minutes, listening to just song after song after song. And all of a sudden, I gotta close the thing with the thing. All of a sudden, I went from there to the EF600, and I went, did this switch to mono? And then I went back to that like immediately, and I'm like, oh, soundstage. These are a single dynamic. I fucking love single dynamics because for a very simple reason, they behave themselves. They're just the simplest, dumbest thing ever. They're just a single driver in a thing, and that's it. There's no crossover points. There's no blending with balanced armatures. They just are. And when you have that, you have efficiency, which these actually... They're not as efficient as you think they would be, but they absorb and they suck the sound of the amplifier you're using and present that to you. So if I had only the Shelly Labs here, I would be like, a little treble spike, little treble. But then if I had only the MPO1, I'd be like, wow, the bass is just incredible. And then if I switch back off that to the Rebel amp now, it's like, holy fuck, the bass. Wait. Toonami D&B remix. This focuses on the low end, and then we're going out to here. And that's probably the most... This is where I first plugged it into, and I was like, oh my god, low end. Leave the plugs in. Try every amplifier you can get your hands on. Because it's going to change how it sounds. And sometimes you'll have, a little bit more treble than maybe you want. Or more soundstage, or in this case, just like the most refined... It's like sounds being ripped apart in front of me. Like the atoms are being torn asunder. Like Dr. Manhattan. Which is why it's blue. Blue penis, it all makes sense. Also, she's blue. Bonus for the background. What is this? Dirty Vegas, all or nothing. These are just such a light and airy sound. I want to say they're a little bit they're definitely V-shaped. Once you put the bass plugs in, they're V-shaped. When you take the bass plugs out, it's not V-shaped, it's more treble focused. And that lull in the mid-range makes it sound airy. That's because we're getting this soundstage, of course we're getting this width. We are allowed to have, when you lower the mid-range on something, when you got a lot of mid-range, it feels kind of stuffy. When you lower that mid-range down, you back it out, you're like... Yeah, it's a big fluid room I'm in. I had some coffee, I think, in a little bit. Ah, Castlevania. Go watch Castlevania on Netflix, please. The first season's 4 20-minute episodes. If you don't want to watch it after that, you don't have to. See, I'm actually at half volume on low gain, and there's full volume on low gain. Jesus fuck. I'm Rinko, all right? I have a $100 IEM, so I know that there's competition in this field. These do some things way better. For a single dynamic, they do all the single dynamic things. They get the soundstage right. They get, honestly, plugging into different amplifiers and getting a slightly different sound is a benefit to those who have more than 2 amplifiers. Because once you only have 1 amplifier, you're fucked, buddy. But you can play with it. The fact that you can play with it, real tubes. I'm using this as the moniker for a real tube, but it's like, even at what this is doing is astonishingly different. It just takes the sound and like picks it up, moves it back, and drops it again. It's like, whoa. I think the Starfield 2s are a buy. Just a straight up 9 out of 10. I'm going to give these a 9 out of 10 when I do the things. I have to remember to say that so I remember what to... They definitely have the treble that made me believe the original Starfields had like a BA or an electrostat. But then everything else just makes sense. It's like you got the width, you got the low end, especially with the plugs. Keeping the plugs in, I don't know if they're so small you can't even like I would usually say, get some blue tack and just tack it in there. Even if you put a dot of crazy glue on this, the odds of it closing the little hole in there, because it's just a hole. There's usually 3 holes, and you cover 2 of the 3 holes, and the middle hole is the hole. And then you have more bass, and it's like, how do you secure that? This would be almost a 10. This would be a 10 out of 10 if it had a balanced adjustment cable, like a cable could swap, and it just had that bass tip in automatically. It'd be fucking easy 10. The fact that we have to deal with like you might have to get a very small child with small hands and be like, come here, put this in. Put this, I don't know why you're talking to them like they can't speak English, but put the little thing in. Because I'm very good with my hands. Giggity. And it was like my fingernails just long enough. If I would have cut my fingernails, I couldn't have gotten them back in when I started this review. It's just holding it back. So don't lose your little fucking mouse dropping bags. You need your mouse droppings. And that like new conglomerate cable. That's a PlanetSide tier reference. Go play it. I think it's free to play still, but my God, that was so much fun. Bring back daily certs. I will join the server, get my 15 certs, and play a little bit and leave. That's what we used to do back in the day. Anyway, yeah, no, Starfield 2, fucking easily going to be one of the best IEMs of this. 2023 is almost over. Yeah, no, it's going to be one of the best of the year. I haven't even played around with all my tips yet. All right. Imagine all my tips and then all my amps. It's like I can't. And then I have to take the bass boost things in and out. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. There are 9 out of 10 with just this random combination. Wallpaper is available in the Wallpaper Horde along with the other one that has a Starry Night. I'm literally going to rip this box apart. It's hanging on my wall because that's fucking gorgeous. This is what I like. And it's not AI. But anyway, her thing. Don't look there. This linked in the description, the cute cuddly kitten. That's why there's mouse droppings. Because the cats are looking for the mice. And I'm done. And thank you to APOS for sending this out. They finally got an IEM to me before anyone else. Congratulations. May you sell many. In fact, I should have asked them this. I didn't know they had the one. When I went looking for the 2, they had the 1. I would have been like, can you send me both? Because that would have been fun. Anyway, thank you for patrons and subscribers, supporters of this channel, and I'll see you in a couple days, and don't forget to hit the bell and whatever the fuck.